你好啊！哇，我終於全破咗嗰隻 Celeste 啊，全通啊！屌，辛苦真係。頭先你哋打緊 BG 嗰陣時，我上去打咗2鋪，跟住然之後有一鋪對面嘅坦特登唔喐，但係 even 特登唔喐都好，我哋都係俾人推到5-5先完場。咩啊？係啊，5打4都係唔夠打，俾人係咁推入去。咩啊？最後幾經辛苦先贏到咯。小隻坦啊，都屌打。係啊，最後贏咗。第一場係俾人屌打輸咗，第二場係俾人屌打但係贏咗。幾時完話？咁打埋佢啦。如果耐嘅話就可以聽日後日先打，冇所謂。咩啊？唔肯定啊。哦，咁即係打咯，我上咗先啊。
おかえりなさい、ウィンストン。データベースに新人エージェントのファイルを作成しました。
素晴らしい。皆さんも落ち着いたようですね。
清湖又冇所謂啦，佢有 skin 啊、剩啊之類嗰啲先打啫嘛。佢專家其實嗰啲血係咪都係扣得咁快啊？定係會低攻啲啊？但係一樣咁痛啊啲怪。我試下玩下內音先。我內音的。哇！屌，終於可以 delete 咗嗰隻 game， 太痛苦啊！總共 A side、B side、C side 全部關過晒一次，總共死咗22000次。 我睇一下。仆街，佢又冇咗嗰啲字幕，遊戲字幕、影片字幕。
倉庫の近くにロボットの TS 版がいるはず。だいぶ前にお役御免になったけど、起動できれば火力があるからヌルセッター相手の助っ人になるはず。
好。呢關唔係用星星咩？點會上面有隻嘢咁？你諗多咗。你揾寶包喎。咩啊？What the fuck？ 有炸彈呢樣嘢嘅咩？哇！真係快咗好多好似。OK， 我準備過嚟。
まだ死なせはせんぞ。
得嘅咩？有傷害。係喎。
やられちまった。戦いはまだこれからだ。爆発前にクリーチャーを投げ払え。
完成咗咯喎，係咪？
修復状況33%。まだかかりそうだね。
哇！屌，要食3次，好啦，麻煩。 呢度有一隻，仆街啊！我有電池，我屌再死！哇！再見啦你！呢度係咪自爆仔？唔係。有冇賴一下咧？推走佢。OK 嗎？炸咗一隻，炸咗一隻。喂，呢隻我打唔到上去喎，師兄。咩啊？咩啊？你識避噶嘛？區炸彈。邊都有喎，喂，嗰度有隻大嘢喎。哇，好多啊！頭先唔係有兩隻嘅咩？上咗去。係啊！哇！等打埋隻自爆仔，我推佢落去，我推佢落去。 哇！救命！有冇壓奶？唔該。我屌！哇！救命！啊！哇！呢個有槍㗎！跳開咗佢頭先。我冇得撞喎。嗰邊係咪有電池啊？10秒，咁小心啊！哦 ，what the fuck！ 我俾人吸！啊！
修復状況66%。
哇！屌，由邊度開始打返起啊？唔撚係由零開始啊嘛？不錯。What？ 哇，係啊，爆啊！我冇血，我冇血。 我包奶下先。又唔死到我。睇住睇住。打佢腳喎，呢啲好似要係咪啊？打佢可以 stun 到動作好似。哇！你個炸彈！哦。哦 GG 啦！
敵の狙いは修復ステーションだ。
跟住點啊？呢個自爆仔，不如等完事過去搞喎。如果好似係咪仲有怪啊？吓？哇！我都彈咗出去喎。與遊戲伺服器中斷連線喎。我屌垃圾 game！
おかえりなさい、ウィンストン。データ。
我街呢啦嘥喎，佢話吓，但係好戇鳩喎，屌今日唔打啦，屌！入唔返㗎啦，一係退隊重新入嚟咯，我試下。這個模式無法加入團隊，完。唉，今日唔打，智障。唔打住啦，聽日先打啦，係。我連日任都仲未清。唔係我話崩三。但係由於個模式實在過於戇鳩，唔係好想同一日打佢幾次。聽日一日3關算夠數，還得呢？底城區個活動送啲咩話？傳奇造型啊嘛，呵呵。哇！第一次登入今日，慘啊！打得贏變打唔贏，真係好撚戇鳩。得返15日做嗰2個活動，係咪聽日開始就要打？我今日都係諗住 skip 咗佢。係啊，10日打贏，咁 今日唔打了，耶、唉，算啦，垃圾 game，好似越後比越多嚟噶嘛。哇屌！好，又入去打一打。即係你指長夢離散之前嗰個啊？哇屌！真係極度麻煩。哇！真係黐孖筋。要通過點位升完實踐課食屎啦！屌真係麻撚煩，整埋啲垃圾模式又唔係好玩。好 KO 完個每日，唔知乜柒升完唔知咩火啲嘢，點可以咁撚麻煩？係，由於太戇鳩。大陸自己有料喎，佢會當係即係單打獨鬥嗰陣時嘅橋。
Mission failed! 3, 2, 1! Walker! Mission failed! 3, 2, 1, go, go, go! Mission failed!
先
3,
智障呢個 game，即刻掉咗先。Bro Force 啊，冇嗰隻 Celeste 爆咗咪 AC6要買，呢啲唔使。冇，已經好耐冇買到新 game。我是用富有，我唔係，準備失業中。係啊，好慘啊！一諗起之後，有機會要轉公司變返一個正常嘅返工時間，我就非常之唔開心。一倍一定冇啦。咁呢個我唔知啦，可能有嘅。冇，睇下佢賺到錢咪拗佢高啲，但係問題佢一賺唔到。冇，以前公司啲人一直都想我過去做佢哋嗰啲咩 PA 或者係 back office 嗰啲嘢。佢哋轉咗公司，轉咗做咩啊 AMG 啊，成條 team 走咗，跟住然之後可以 refer 入去佢哋 back office 去做。佢哋其實一直都想揾我返去，不過之後我冇咩啫嘛。點會啊？佢哋嗰啲 sales team 嗰啲人啫嘛，屌你揾 PA 嘅喎。係啊， 嘛，純粹係可以 hea 嘅工啫嘛。唔係好多㗎咋。執頭執尾啊，跟住然之後執單啊，跟住然之後可能做下報表咁樣咯。咁我就唔知啦，唔知佢哋有冇呢啲咁嘅嘢啦。就係東路，但係其實我係想做 back office 多啲，嗰啲真係正正規規。P.A. 喎，佢哋 team 嗰啲 P.A. 喎，你 sales 啲 P.A. 係當係佢哋另外自己丟㗎噃，唔知佢哋會點丟啊嘛，因為係唔使 sell 啊。睇下佢哋月底嗰陣時點。咁啊一定冇，你放心，佢哋唔係嗰啲咩爆數添。你係咪有興趣啊？係啊，有 sell 咯。定係依家開始玩咗個原子之心呢？有咩好玩呢？依家免費㗎。多謝 Somi。89呢？399黐孖筋，表示不了。係有一部我屋企你都係咁講。我都知佢係優秀嘅，因為佢其實舊作已經係好評如潮。不過只係真係費事買新 game，啲舊 game 都已經清唔晒。咁佢的確係唔中我嘅興趣範圍嘅呢隻。係啊，喂，電半魚黑，呢個你嘅 Death Rising 點解會全套都收齊咗？啊？邊隻啊？玩冇玩過，有段時間0分鐘。哇！呢隻我就真係冇啦。Dark Souls 2都仲叫有。DEAD Dead Island 咯 ，Dead Rising 2咯 ，Dead Rising 2 Off the Road，Rising 3，Rising 4，跟住完之後係咩？屌點解要玩啲恐怖 game 啊？單機啊呢隻，呢隻單機啊，屌單機好撚緊張啊！過唔到心理關口，好恐怖。Dead Space， 你話 Somi 玩唔玩啊 ？Dead Space 喎，V7 話好想我哋玩下，睇我哋嚇到賴屎嘅樣。何？就話唔使咯。 好似話唔使喎。有送果 ，what the fuck？ 咁我真係唔知喎。唔係啊，I mean 佢話 Game Pass 嗰度有得玩，雖然我好似嘅見唔到。好似唔同版本可以連機啊嘛，佢話，但好似真係冇喎。我見到有 Dead Space 同埋 Dead Space 3，2反而唔見喎。真係咩？先，係咪多人故事模啊？裝咗佢咯。咩 ED？What the fuck？ 咩 ED？What the fuck？ 頭先吓？咩嚟㗎？冇聽過喎。我屌，原來你係去咗揾工，唔係呢間咯。唔係 BA 啊，PA Personal Assistant 啊。係咩？哦，但係我見到佢呢個 BA 係寫住 Business Analyst 喎。OK，但係佢其實做嗰啲嘢都係類似秘書嗰啲嘢。睇下先啊，將佢裝落去 L Drive。你 PA 啊之類 BA 啊呢啲可能就少啲，但係如果你話走去做 sales team 嘅話，我諗你白紙都真係照請，唯獨是係你要真係考牌喎。係啊，跑數咯。係啊，但係好撚慘，我覺得即係我嘅好鬼唔中意 social，由於所以係啊，跟完之後佢哋平時有咩玩啊，就你差唔多係要義務一齊玩埋咁樣。但係 which is 係嗰啲咁嘅現充嘢，我係勁唔中意玩。哦，改變過幾年就係發覺唔 work。係100%唔會。唔係你俾人逼，你都係要焗住上嘅，但係我諗你應該係唔會特別抗拒嗰啲嚟。我覺得你呢啲係銀行先會出現嘅啫，Frontier。係啊，同埋頂唔順佢啲極度正面嗰啲超級 positive 諗法。 其實你哋係咪保險 team 先會係即係叫做真係需要一個好 active 嘅 sales team，定係如果你哋做 mortgage 之類嗰啲，你哋都要係好 active 定係點？即係主動出擊嗰種。So 嗰啲唔係平時好冷清嘅咩？So 哦，咁撚癲！見佢啲店全部都係拍烏蠅，因為係咯，佢應該係自己揾埋你嘛，係咯。所以我就問 mortgage team 會唔會都係好 active，即係去主動去，即係佢係唔需要做任何嘢去推嘢。哦，哦，嗱就咁嘅 Dead Space 咧，我就裝咗噶啦。咁睇下，係啊，我就裝咗啊，但係應該就唔會今日玩3點幾，唔係好想發噩夢住，可能早少少玩應該要，好恐怖。我諗佢應該係精神衝擊，僅次於 Outlast 嗰啲 friend 嚟。但係 Outlast 好似都已經出咗多人版，又變咗歡樂向啲人話，定係你講我都唔知。絕命精神病院喎，屌有冇啲輕鬆啲嘅遊戲？點啊？直播緊咩？之後拎嚟睇下。其實我真係諗唔明好耐啊 Zombie 喺個 General 嗰度 send 嗰對鞋係點樣着嘅？係咯，我就睇咗個構造好耐，我喺度諗緊點樣套落隻腳嗰度。OK OK What the fuck 好撚神奇。今個禮拜啊，去邊度食啊？過海嘅話唔係咁好喎。睇下先啦，好似 FWD 嚟喎，見到你仲係條 link。哦，原來喺前面我操！冇你睇佢最新嗰張圖，我仲以為佢管住後面嘅添。屌智障！What the fuck 係。cross 咯，屌佢刮損一兩次佢就唔嬌亂㗎啦。你知唔知佢其實係着毛毛拖鞋咪算咯咁樣嘅話？OK。
Unfortunately, just a double back and forth, no kills to be found. Waiting for Cloud to get back from spawn. Now Lambda goes for the engage with KSA. But Ghost with the Ant Matrix from an off angle is there with the peel. KSA drops the Diva Bomb as well. It does not find the kills. Danid also finds Slay off the back. Surely Lambda's going to look for the on the Tracer. Eventually finds Danid. Down to 40 HP though. Needs some heals desperately. The rest of the team come back to support him. 5 seconds left. No Danid in this fight. Cloudy though,
我只係真係拖下形狀，跟然之後佢踩落去嗰個位咧係另一種原教嚟，勁舒服。冇錯，就係貴咯，只係。真係屌，我都好似買咗喺台灣買，好似平過香港少少，但係都唔平得去邊。
I knew we'd be talking about fight. I knew we'd be talking about Cloudy and singing the praises of Danid with these symmetric teleports, but Ghost has just been standing out to me at the moment, Dustin. Like, it's so smart because you can see when Lambda goes for Cassidy, the Diva KSA is directly behind him, anticipating it's the Cassidy that you have to defend Matrix. And you got it perfectly. Ghost sees the opportunity. He drops out of the Ant Matrix on an off angle entirely. So when Defense Matrix has been used up dealing with the Cassidy's poke, Baptiste is free to take the Pharah down. And again, Twisted Minds lose the condition of having the Pharah just chunk through the backline, chunk through the DPS, and make it so much harder for Cloudy to be able to operate.
This is a big deal, Moxie. I mean, no team so far this season has taken even more than a map off of Twisted Minds. So SRP Check setting themselves up for success at the moment. But Moxie, they got to keep it up, right? I mean, Twisted Minds, you know, obviously they're going to choose another map that should favor them, and it's going to be Push. So, oh man, this is going to be a real interesting series, like you said, because you might see Lambda be subbed out for Quartz again.
Oh, it's going to be so interesting. Honestly, the way that we're going to see these two teams operate, they're so different from each other. The maps that they want to put on the board are so different. The Rhino doesn't want to play on high-ground focus maps where the Pharah is going to get a lot of value because KSA is just going to go ramp. And as a result, if we do see Cloudy on this Reinhardt trying to deal with a Pharah at the same time, well, you saw it just there in the replay. He can only hold his shield up with the Pharah, and that instantly puts him into a position where he's not able to move. And allows the Master to go into the Nemesis form and pummel into his side, and even if the shield is facing the Ram, the pummel just cleaves directly through it, so the Ram with the Pharah focus always wins against the Reinhardt. But if SRP are in control of the series, they're going to take it somewhere where the Pharah is going to struggle.
I mean, just always, right? Yeah, you're right. I mean, even if Twisted Minds win the next map 100%, and then they're going to another one.
電腦用緊嗰個又係覺得符合預期，所以先人同買咗。
Kind of now doesn't really matter, right? I mean, obviously
we're out of balance. We are out of balance in terms of map picks. Twisted Minds, first map that they took us to, Lijiang Gardens. Why are they doing it? Because they want to get Gardens to be able to run the Jungle King composition, which already is tried and true of being able to catch the Reinhardt. Second map that we go to, well, no surprises. It's an SRP check picked map. It's Iconvolt, and immediately they get that win condition of playing that gate with a Reinhardt and a Mei get into play around the chokes. Third map that we go to, of course, is going to be Dorado, because that's where the Pharah is at its strongest and the Reinhardt struggles the most. But now that tempo that you win the map because it sets your composition up to access its win conditions most easily, all of that is up in the air. And SRP check really looked to entirely redefine that run of contenders this season.
100%. I mean, Cloudy has really been the I mean, maybe not the catalyst for them succeeding thus far, like at least in the most recent maps, but in terms of bringing this team together, he's really been so important for SR Peak Check. And on top of the fact that his Reinhardt play so far, just to shout him out a little bit, I mean, has been absolutely stellar, right? The only Reinhardt play that has reached a similar peak thus far, in my opinion, is the likes of maybe like Super TF, Super Matthew Delisi, right? One of the best Reinhardt players in the game. He has a solid Winston and stuff, but I think that a lot of people call Super like the best Reinhardt in the game, right? Isn't that fair? I think a lot of people say that Super was one of the best in the history of Overwatch to ever do it. And I think Cloudy honestly has been putting up a good shout as well, right? It's just recently Reinhardt has, I guess, been a little out of favor. At least at the highest level, so maybe that's why he's been on the back burner. But with how much he's been playing it, how much room there is to improve on it, truly proves that Reinhardt players can still succeed, even in a meta that may not favor you. And you know, we talk about the likes of KSA doing a similar thing with off-tank heroes, right? He plays a lot of those like heroes that aren't really good in the current metas as well. Doing a similar thing over there with like the Ramatra and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting battle dynamic that I don't think we've had in Europe just yet, Moxie, with these two tank players going at it. Twisted Minds, meanwhile, on the other side for Coliseum, the next map they're taking is to. We'll be subbing in Quartz, Moxie. Interesting enough, which this is a map that Quartz is used to playing, right?
Yeah, this is absolutely a map that they're very used to playing around Quartz and Yubi. No surprises, it is going to be Coliseum. I mean, Cloudy's going to have a pretty fun first engagement. 滿屋冇，滿屋就有，滿屋好似聽過，聽過又好似有印象。哦，最貴嘅。幾錢啊？哇屌！可唔可以平啲啊？我覺得3嚿零都已經好盡㗎嘞噃。係咯，3嚿零，其實我平時食開2嚿嘅啫喎。係啊，同你哋出嚟，我先願意退讓多1嚿出嚟嘅喎。係啊，但係退讓都唔係咁啊，你整多2倍搞唔掂喎。
Yeah, I mean, they did it previously to them in the upper bracket, so you're 100% onto something there, Moxie. You know, maybe the likes of SRP Check look to mix it up. I mean, it's always good to just, like, you know, not do the same play over and over again. But you never know on a Coliseum map, especially with the likes of SRP Check and how they've been playing it. Meanwhile, Quartz back in the game, Moxie. Are you happy with him on the Hanzo, or do you prefer that Quartz maybe play something alongside that, like, Bastion pick?
Really strong, but when you're playing him around something like a Ramatra, it can be a little bit harder to be able to pull off, given the fact that Ramatra's shield is on a significantly longer cooldown than the Reinhardt, and the Nemesis form a lot of the time is used to absorb damage for the Ramatra, rather than being able to peel damage away from the players behind him. So trying to field into something like the Hanzo, which has higher mobility, and also the ability to be able to play the off angles, something you are going to need to have control of to be able to get around this Rein shield, is just a lot more important.
小美喎
like you said, Moxie, there it is. Back and forth they go.
但係個拉馬塔喎，究竟萊恩贏定拉馬塔贏呢？哇！屌，直接收咗一隻。哇！屌，拉馬塔輸喎。
Nope, and already they're moving into position to be able to try and do just that. That's another reason why we are going to see Quartz on the Hanzo. Having that if Cloudy plays too aggressive with this fire strike is going to be something that gives SRP Check a little bit more pause for thought in terms of how aggressive they get to play. But that's a very early vortex as Cloudy does get actually pulled away from his team as SRP Check have to rotate.
點解啲兵係綠色嘅？好難頂我覺得。
Yeah, but so does Slay. So it's lamp for lamp. Ghost goes aggressive on a Slay, takes the duel. No return at a burst.
哦，綠色白色啊嘛。
Eventually, Ghost and Cloudy get found. Appeal was there to Slay to keep him alive, and the robot is in control of Twisted Minds after 45 meters from SRP Check.
So you have to remember as well,
Okay.
over the Symmetra at the start of these fights, if both Baptistes use Immortality Field at roughly the same time, not only does KSA have more self-sustainability to be able to outlast LH Cloudy, but Quartz, as long as Dana doesn't start a fight,
佢揾你 part time 諗住 offer 幾多俾你啊？
potential. Twisted Minds will always be able to win in terms of brute strength at the start of these engagements.
There's the Ant Matrix, forces out the wall and shield from KSA on the inside angle. They're trying to break that shield to Cloudy, but Slay finds Danid off the back, who just dropped that Symmetra wall. A lot of ults being committed for SRP check. They have to win this fight, but it's perfect ultimate usage from Twisted Minds.
哦，死咗羅恩。
Check Shatter, Amplification Matrix, and Sim Wall. Twisted Minds.
佢有收啊，佢停低咗啊嗰下。
Dragon Strike already invested, however, to try to just split the focus from the remnants of LH Cloudy's Shatter Impact by sitting on a Blizzard. UB approaching a counter Blizzard of their own. Final has the decision: do you use Blizzard to try and aggressively get into position so that LH Cloudy and Dana can get to work, or do you save it to zone out the Annihilation?
Oh, what a charge from Cloudy, gets in perfect
點
position
跟？
to stop Twisted Minds, but the May ultimate is here. The Blizzard freezes him after going for that. Slay's able to find Danid. Immortality Field.
屌，真係諗翻起佢哋就係收皮，但係啱啱好先整完個
Twisted Minds taking full advantage
submission
of the aggressive way that Cloudy likes to
要同
use
人
those
簽
range
約
ups.
俾
If
royalty，
he still had the charge on cooldown, he
跟
would have
住
been
之後
able
一
to
簽
get
完
out
就
of
話，
the
唉
Blizzard,
公
but
司
as
要
a
收皮
result,
啦，
he
咁樣真係
doesn't
勁好
have
笑。
it. He doesn't get to. Fight still holds on to a Blizzard of their own, however.
不過原來唔係真係收咗皮啦，
Engage on the
你純粹係仲傳緊，準備收皮。
You get KSA, but the beat drops keeps him alive for now.
Oh,
However, Danid's damage is too much to deal with. KSA will get found. Ant Matrix and Dragon Strike committed as well. But they only get Danid off of it. Danid's able to find Slay before he goes down. Dollar
恒大未執嘅咩？
up towards the top is just so evasive. Quartz is able to get just one kill in that fight. SRP check regroup around this robot as finally they get a team fight win.
KSA still holding on to Annihilation. Cloudy will be able to come in with the Shatter to be able to make sure that the Ramatra doesn't get to just run straight into the team. But it's the support ultimates, SRP check having both of them up, Twisted Minds having neither, having committed both in the last fight. That's really going to swing things in favor of SRP check when it does come down to sustainability. In the neutral, the Ramatra wins, but with those ultimate advantages for SRP check, Twisted Minds have to bait them out first.
Absolutely back and forth between these two teams at the moment. Twisted Minds on the
路
bridge.
西歐三飛中晒，係咪同個帽子啊？
Understanding it's a very hard fight to win because of the positioning that Twisted Minds have without a good Symmetra teleporter, or at least one that's not expected. Now they go for the
咩
TP dive
啊
onto Quartz.
唔係
It
惡
is
咗
broken.
㗎
However,。they're super close to each other, so they don't really need to take that TP to regroup around this robot and try to move towards that checkpoint.
幾好
Some extra wall
啊
used to keep everybody alive around Danny. Danny gets poked down half. Cloudy comes from the top left flank. They were well aware of it though, as Cloudy wants to get the shatter up. Does get it! It's two on the top side. KSA will fall. Too much damage to deal with. Blizzard from UB is there, but he gets deleted during it, and Ghost gets the beat drop on the back, so he gets to stay alive as well. Kellic surely won't be found here. Slay just desperately trying to find some sort of damage or a kill on the backside. He doesn't. And SRP check. Claim this objective and get the checkpoint, Moxie.
努力。
Oh, and they're able to stagger out kills onto Slay and Quartz as well. KSA still coming for the Annihilation, but Quartz is able to pick up Ghost at the very beginning with the Sonic. And as a result, SRP just have to look for the disengagement. They're going to try and stall with fire on them. They're just buying them as much time as possible so Twist Minds still get the free push and start to even up the distance. That's such a huge pick coming through from Quartz.
It's why they nerfed the character box.
呢隻小美用咗4個人嘅力量先
ridiculous
生得
what
到。
good Hanzo players can do. You know, now we're going to the neutral fight in the middle of the map.
This makes the Blizzard a lot more dangerous though. If you're fighting out in the open, there's so much more space to be able to run around it. But they see that they wall them up so the Symmetra can't teleport him out and send the Dragon Strike in to keep him cornered up there. And without a tank, SRP check yet again are forced to go for stall tactics. As a result of that one pick, Twisted Minds yet again get to widen out the fight space, and that Blizzard becomes absolutely not a threat anywhere near as much as it was when we were playing in the close-up and personal.
佢呢度應該夠佢
Is received, so both teams have made it there in this fight. Slay
夠佢過翻嚟可以頂一頂。
For free, basically.
哦，好似唔得喎，得啦。
Now the
Where are you
advantage
going?
in terms of meters will be here. Where is he in? Is he trying to set up on the
亂
flank or
戰
something?
啊！
He's met.
Hey.
He sees the Baptiste on the backside.
Hey.
Past him. Didn't even see Slay. What? Spy could have easily probably killed Slay there. He was 1 HP anyway. The immortality field was used. Comes around the backside. Ultimate committed by KSA. Blizzard is here as well from 5, but unfortunately no kills just yet from it. In fact, it's all going in favor of Twisted Minds. Ant Matrix
so
trying to get KSA, but he's going into that pummel form. It's so hard to stay alive. Dana gets stagger killed as well. It's 3 versus 2 now with just supports here. Surely they get forced away as Twisted Minds have the advantage with 3 minutes left. This is such a back and forth matchup. Twisted Minds
點解唔係嗰個 Overwatch 你仲喺度搞咁多垃圾嘢，整蠱嘅 game 好撚。
No doubt onto the Mei, having gone onto the Trace to just try and regroup around the objective a little bit faster.
唔係咯，佢成 team 就係因為個 CEO 話一定要搞嗰啲衰先搞咁多衰嘢出嚟㗎嘛。當年都係啊，佢哋爆料講。
Wall here on the backside, they just use it to push forward. SRP check, taking advantage of the space given by Twisted Minds. But that is one ultimate used with not really a lot of value besides maybe a little positioning. Still on a neutral game here on the low ground. Both teams, Cloudy comes to the charge on the left side.
係啊，佢因為我睇佢之前講咧，佢本身個意向就係為咗去食佢嗰啲投資者嗰啲錢啫，冇諗過係自己賺錢嘅。
Happen right now for Twisted Minds. Kellex and Quartz combined for 2, but is it enough? Not in this case. They're going to have to reset.
佢可唔可以搶得翻咧
Yeah, but SRP check as a result had to burn that shatter and won't really be able to pick up a lot of distance as Yubi goes in for the interception. So the SRP check aren't actually able to keep the objective moving and pick up distance. As a result, they're forced to disengage and once again take us into a fighting space where the Reinhardt's going to have a lot more value, but that in turn is going to enable Yubi's Blizzard.
Both Blizzards available. Ghost and Dala, though, have support ultimates. Whereas Twisted Mind still building up to theirs. Slay surely built his. Yubi just tosses out to Blizzard, but it is zoned away. However, Cloudy is a little far away from his team. Ant Matrix committed by Twisted Minds is there. Blizzard from 5 to counter. KSA on the off angle. No B drop was in sight. Dala used his during that one. Ghost has held on to his amplification matrix for the next one. So support ultimate versus support. But Kellex finds Standard though. That's a huge kill. Twisted Minds is securing on this left side. They dropped the B, in fact. SRP check. Now just need heals from Ghost on this front line. While the robot is taken across the map by Dala, so at least forces some pressure off of them for now. But Twisted Minds committed a beat in that fight.
Yeah, committed a beat, and as a result will not have it to try to live through Cloudy Shatter. KSA is going to have Annihilation, but it's the Dragon Strike that you have to watch out for. Twice we have seen LH Cloudy Shatter get absolutely nullified by a Dragon Strike, and he's going straight for the Hanzo.
佢財報靚係因為佢嗰陣時拗咗好多投資者去入資啊嘛。
Cloudy can't get a shatter off. Twisted Minds, perfect disengage there. After that wall came through from Danon.
就造就咗依家呢個頹勢。
Cloudy comes from the top, but they drop. Twisted Minds well aware of what's happening. Dragon Strike on the low ground, seeking where Cloudy is. They're able to find Fi through that immortality field. Cloudy drops the shatter, but only finds just one. Can he get any more? Quartz, meanwhile, has found Ghost. That's a lot of the healing gone now for SRP check, but Cloudy, Dala does find KSA. Quartz, though, still able to get onto Cloudy via that low ground, and then onto Dala, and in overtime, Twisted Minds will win. Tie the series
4萬幾人睇，其實都多人睇嘅。
We were going to get at least 2 maps from the losing side, so I'm happy. I'm sure the viewers at home are very happy as well, because it does mean that if you tuned in the beginning of this podcast, you would be guaranteed to pick up your playoffs final Mercy exclusive skin, as it's going to be Quartz walking away with the game. We talked about whether or not this hands will be a deciding factor in dealing with the Reinhardt and
我可以掛住喺度，但係咁邊度可以睇到佢 drops 嗰啲？睇呢個 channel 有冇㗎？如果呢個 channel 冇嘅話，就費事睇啊。左上我就見到有個維利特選嘅追蹤名單嘅喎。
Unfortunately, Dana just kept getting, I don't know, picked off there, or just a bit aggressive at times, which is
definitely symmetric
players. But Twisted Minds, like you said, I mean, they just do such a good job at doing this. This is why they're the best team, right, Moxie? I mean, they're just so consistently at the top, and, you know, a lot of it is off the back of, you know, Quartz, their main DPS.
It was some really good walls as well from Ruben when they were able to just
就係呢個啊
isolate LH Cloudy. Like you said, he does like to play incredibly
哦，
aggressive
綠
with
色
his
呢隻，
Reinhardt,
哦
and
幾
they
好
will
喎。
see the absence of the Reinhardt. You can see it here on the replay as well. Cloudy has the shadow, he's on the high ropes, he's looking to try and drop down from top with the
疑似
ultimate.
係啦。
And Quartz sees, okay, they're stuck in this really enclosed space. Without the Reinhardt, we can throw the dragon
擺咗喺
shot
度
and
掛
use it
機
to
都
engage
OK
on
嘅，
these
之後直接
players
瞓。
before the Rhine is ready to absorb all of that damage. And as a result, even if the Dragon Strike on entrance to the fight doesn't find the kill, all of those players are so low and don't have the Reinhardt to be able to intercept the push that comes through from Twisted Minds, that literally just walking forward and giving the slightest bit of additional pressure afterwards buys them all the kills.
佢應該係冇交圖，佢就直接用 default。
Reinhardt, and the Reinhardt alone with no means of self-sustainability and a team to be able to prop him up is not a threat at all.
And now we're all tied up 2-2 in the grand finals of the Summer Series, guys. So before this next map number 5, we need to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll see you guys for this highly anticipated close matchup between Twisted Minds and SR Peak Check.
Are you tired of your teammates holding you back from greatness? Ready to seize the initiative, pitch shift, and super jump up the ranks? Or become the envy of support on every map, game, and round? Well, get ready to take flight with the brand new Overwatch Contenders Mercy skin. Each Mercy skin comes with a brand new, hand-painted, hand-crafted, free-range, organic, non-GMO, and side-effect-free Valkyrie battle suit, so you can be a star of your team. And when your Kadisha stuff isn't enough, there's always the Kadisha
係啊，因為我仲有一盒喺度，我諗緊。 如果你禮拜六係出嚟嘅話，我帶呢個嚟台灣買最出名嗰間。哦，佢宣傳緊個 skin 喎。嗯。 2分鐘。佢哋只要個 lead 嗰度冇外掛就 OK 嘅啦，依家。啊！佢呢啲係線下嘅咩？時不時都有。冇，只可以講充滿住無助。你都吹佢唔脹，老實講，即係又冇乜其他好啲嘅 Switch 去玩。 我打 Van 純粹係為咗可以體驗到同我地圖兩個模式嘅。
Welcome back, everybody. It's grand finals time, and we're mid-series right now between Twisted Minds and SR Peak Check. The series has been so dang close. It's 2-2 at the moment, with the likes of Twisted Minds taking Coliseum. So the next map is going to be on SR Peak Check to pick. And you talked about it earlier, Moxie. Maybe things are back in the favor of the side of SR Peak Check as they get to choose what map we go to.
Yeah, this is where I think we're really going to see the consequences of SR Peak Check being able to walk away with Dorado. And as a result, SRP Check, having lost that push map, now get to pick the control map, and no surprises, they're going to be taking us to Antarctic Peninsula. This Reinhardt composition definitely is going to struggle potentially against
有冇聲出嚟㗎 Discord？
or an Echo if we do see places like sub-level, but they've already shown that they've been able to handle the threats of those and still come out on top.
Yeah, this has been a very good map for them in general, and you know, Twisted Minds may have decided against some strategies specifically on control as well. You know, maybe mixing things up. Obviously, that first control map went in their favor, although it was close at the end of the day. It was just too much pressure on the likes of SRP Check on control. But obviously, like I said, Antarctic Peninsula is a great map for SRP Check. They're so good with the aggressive plays. I mean, what is the only downside of SRP Check so far on these control maps? How did they even lose that first one? I mean, I know it's so long ago. It's a hard callback because it was like 3 maps ago, obviously. But leading into this control map, obviously a lot of what happened in that first one really matters.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Junker Queen composition. It really was. It unfortunately punishes a lot of the aggressive plays that Reinhardt wants to take, because you try and move forward a single step and immediately the Junker Queen is just in your face with the carnage, with the knife, with the shout and the sustainability. So you get to rubber band back in and out of all of those fights. And with the Jagged Blade getting to pick a lot of those players out of position, well, we already see the Reinhardt composition. It requires so many players to be alive to keep the Rhine standing. When you start to pick it apart, the Rhine just absolutely suffers for it. The good news, however, is that Junker Queen, not the greatest pick for Antarctic Peninsula. More than likely, we're going to see KSA try to come out on the Ramatra, which is something that the Reinhardt has already been able to triumph over.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think going into this map, obviously, going against KSA, but, you know, KSA has shown some adaptability too, right, Moxie? I mean, been able to swap off the Ramatra onto the Junker Queen if necessary, or really anything else. Really
即係咁，如果佢咧一個用外掛人係自己開發嘅話咧，咁起碼我見佢係條漢子先。
Change to what he's feeling at the current time. But obviously, with their team, they're so good at, well, as with UB on the May walls, and then Quartz as well. You know, whatever DPS he opts to play, sometimes that Symmetra or the Hanzo, it's been working out for them as the series goes on.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be treated to an absolute showdown of the best maze in EMEA at the moment. Phi and Yubi, both of these maze looking to use these walls and really be a pain in the neck of the other team. Phi's walls might actually have been a big instigating factor in why we see Twisted Minds not running Pharah at the moment, because if they run the Pharah with the Mercy Pocket, they have to run Slay on the Ana. And the last time these two teams butted heads on this map, Phi's walls just made Slay's life an absolute nightmare. He could never find line of sight onto KSA, even with KSA having to hop onto a Diva to be able to boost into position for the Ana to see past them.
SRP Check walked to the outside of the objective for now. Twisted Minds, meanwhile, play slow around the pillars. Point not unlocking just yet. We see this a lot of times from SRP Check. They wait for that point to unlock and then to pressure it now. Also disruptor shot to slow Cloudy down as Quartz is on that Soj. Earlier, KSA drops towards that point, forces the immortality field. Surely wants his own in just a second, in which he does, but Danon gets that first kill with a TP. Aggressive play from him to get out Sojourn early on. Gives them that objective and the first fight win.
First TP as well was a bait from SRP Check. Danon, we heard from him in the interview, he said when he uses that Symmetra teleporter, all of these teams that they go up against, they've been conditioned into taking the teleporter down as quickly as possible, and it allows Clyde to be able to close up the distance and put that pressure onto Twisted Minds, who now swap onto the Junker composition that we saw on Control the last time these two teams played each other in the series. Quartz swapping onto the Bastion to be able to try and shred through. But you're now playing into a setup Ryan composition. You have to get the caps in with the Symmetra teleporter.
打好耐佢先啱啱佔30%，即係頭先嗰個第一波會知道。
Off the map you go. I mean, he's so accurate with the charges. Very fast team fight win for them off of the Symmetra wall.
And here's the thing, when Yubi uses the Symmetra teleporter, a lot of the time it's not actually going to be a bait. Because the only way that KSA is going to be able to get into these fights without having to burn through that Junker Queen track too early on is going to be off of the back of the Symmetra teleporter, as opposed to the Reinhardt, who has both the Mei wall to be able to cover himself and his own shield to give him a little bit of leeway. And as a result, Cloudy is able to time predict charge onto the Junker Queen and deprive her position for the rest of Twisted Mind's team. As yet again, we're going to see Yubi just pressuring the Symmetra teleporter being thrown, and this time they are going to get in safely.
Yeah, but they're not as good with it as SRP.
戰術修養係根本上唔好比。
TP to the point, use that matrix there. It's looking a little unclean.
So they did confess that they've only been running the Symmetra
始終我哋唔
composition
係
for 2 days yesterday, so that's a total of 3 days now, and as a result, they probably don't actually have all of these Symmetra teleport locations as rehearsed as SRP check, and like you saw, they've only really got one wave entry, and without the Symmetra teleporter, it's a choke, and the exact same story as Icon Bolt, and no one can get past and touch.
I mean, Kellogg's just kind of touch with beat there.
冇人過到佢嘅防禦網。
For your first time, like it's like you
強過嘅話，咪又係送。
Like they've been playing this
佢哋咁盡。
entire year, and you're just like, sure, let's just run Symmetra. And like they need it on the recontest, it's so hard, right? I mean, it's like you said, it's so well rehearsed from SRP check, and obviously Twisted Mind's not as practiced on this comp.
The Junker Queen thrives on denying space when she's already holding on to it. And as a result, when you're trying to push through these chokes, you don't have the natural cover to be able to hold your ground, wait for the Reinhardt to show up, and then swing a Carnage or a Jagged Blade and fish someone out of position. Instead, it's up to you to make that first play, and SRP should play really smartly, no one exposing themselves so they don't get ripped through from Quartz early on, as Twisted Minds this time start off with the Junker Queen, trying to go for the high ground angle, but SRP check are able to cut them off and take the inside angle so the Junker Queen doesn't get to block the space off for the Rain comp.
Twisted Minds tried to look to be the Symmetra on the left side, thinking they had somebody out of place. Fi is the one that is engaged on, forced to use the Ice Block. Jagged Blade again connects into the Rhine Quartz off of the pressure from KSA and his team, able to find 5. But Cloudy trades back for the charge on Yubi. Meanwhile, he dropped low ground, has to eventually runs out. Now putting that pressure on him, but Ghost is able to find KSA. Ghost again has found Kellis. Comes back for Quartz, the support line, doing it all at the moment. Dated also collapses as SRP check take the point first again.
Ghost is absolute MVP of the series at the moment. And no one can say
已經冇人想出原士了嗎？
Twisted Mind's now going to have to yet again re-engage in with this composition, which really struggles on the entrance. That's fine now with that Mei gets to properly set up and look to isolate, stop the Bastion pressure from shredding through Cloudy's shield before he's ready to take a fight.
DP comes through, but everybody's there on the opposite side. Quartz looks to get Ghost on the backside. Nice shield from Cloudy to keep him alive, but Slay on the other side able to find Danid, who was building towards that wall. It was a crucial kill for them, but KSA drops the point, does die for it. Beat drop, unfortunately too late to save Cloudy. Kellick's able to find Ghost, although trades back Kellick's. However, I think the trades are still going in favor of Twisted Minds at the moment, as Quartz just finally kills Gullet in 5. 51% of the board, rather, as Twisted Minds get the flip.
They do have stall. They do have that artillery strike already built up, and SRP check don't yet have the Blizzard, nor because they used both support ultimates in the last fight, do they have the confidence in terms of their sustainability to just stay on the point and force Twisted Minds to drop down.
要相信人類嘅可能性係。
From 5. Danid also has the Symmetra wall ready to go on his own side. They drop towards the point. Here comes the artillery strike from Quartz. Drops 1 on to Ghost, forces him to jump away. Now drops the rest into this team. KSA goes low because of a shatter from Cloudy. And also the Symmetra wall there, but Quartz is able to find Danid. Unfortunately, no support ultimates to keep SRP check alive. So Twisted Minds commit that beat drop, and with it, get all of the added pressure, holding on to the objective at 40%.
Gorgeous sound barrier from Calyx to be able to save KSA in the clutches of an LH Cloudy charge. And as a result, this might still have that tank to be able to just burn out so much pressure from SRP check, who yet again try and take this high angle to make sure that they can bait Quartz into using the transformation mode too early on. It's not falling for it this time. Waits for the full drop down to be committed so he can burn the Symmetra.
Oh, and he does so. Ghost though, trades back Yubi. Both Symmetra's out of the fight. He's now caught in that Blizzard. Fi, again, has been so impactful. Moxie, talk about it. Nice Blizzard from him. Slows down KSA as well. Amplification Matrix committed from Ghost here. I guess they were all low, so maybe thought it was necessary. But regardless, that ultimate has been burned out now. 76% of the board for Twisted Minds. Meanwhile, SRP check flip it. and have 54.
不嬲都唔覺得
Yeah,
小
so
明
Slay
真
is
係
going to
點
have
進
an amplification matrix, but the reason it
都係
gives
我
us
唔
confidence to
用
be able to use the amp matrix to just close out that fight is that Fire is on the main.
亦都我唔
Twisted
用
Minds
小
don't
美嘅
have
原
them.
因，因為已經
So
試
as a
過
result,
有劍可以
SRPJ
擊
have
爛
the wall
打
to be
中人。
able to just rotate around
我覺得佢係唔
the
同
amplification matrix, even， though
其實
they
係
have
同
one
霧子係
to
兩
hold
樣
the
嘢
space
嚟。
against
佢
Twisted
嗰個
Minds.
標，雖然佢都係好似係
TP comes through as well.
係，因為佢係延遲開槍，你係霧子係撳掣嘅瞬間，佢嗰招嗰個標就已經甩手，係機制上嘅唔同嚟嘅，本來係。
Closing out on SRP check as they've built up nearly 87%. Some stagger coming
霧
through
子
from
嘅
90% on the
掉出去嘅嗰首歌我係中意，但係小美我就覺得好拖沓，我好唔中意嗰種
The
感
line
覺。
of sight of amplification matrix onto the high ground opposite the point. Unfortunately, LH Cloudy is not playing on that angle. He's playing on the right side around those small hallways. And as a result, it does not alleviate the pressure. And like we saw, Immortality Field is just a tad too late to be able to save the Rhine. As SRP Jake now has to engage in on Twisted Minds, dropping from the high ground onto the low, but that's going to open them up to be shredded by Quartz, who this time isn't actually in the fight at the moment. Stayed behind to be able to land artillery strike.
Yeah, artillery strike there, but they give up the objective a little bit. And oh my god, what a shatter! Though it's beat dropped by Kellex. Perfect time from him. Quartz goes to 1 HP on the back. Needs to stay alive, but Slay is also low. And Matrix and Ghost to continue the pressure. I mean, Twisted Minds, they need this rampage from KSA, but he's so low. He gets it off. He dies while doing it. He gets Dala. So it's from the grave kill from him, but with the Symmetra wall here, it's going to be hard to deal with the pressure from LH Cloudy. No tank here available, but Quartz still on the top.
佢其實係想殺，佢係想直接單殺到佢，但係
looking for that kill on the back, but he uses the immortality field. Can peek with it. Kellex is
係啊，真係保
looking
滿
for
咗
that kill on the backside, and they actually get it. What a grenade from Quartz from across the map. The Blizzard to zone from Vi is there, and overtime is ticking down. Doomfist is back. KSA in the fight.
哇，仲搶埋添喎，咁癲！
Is here to add that pressure on the Cloudy. They have no
哦，拳王
sustain. Nobody else here to delay the point, and we're all tied 1-1 on Antarctic Peninsula.
Quartz coming in with the hero play on the Bastion. KSA able to come back into the fight as well on the Doomfist and corral all of the players of SRP Check who were looking to hide themselves out in those hallways, tapping onto the point to keep it in overtime contest as long as possible after Twisted Minds' ultimate advantage had burned out. What a close series. Quartz really coming in with an absolute huge kill.
有陣時嗰條血條消失。
As we can see, LH Cloudy here just taking advantage of the fact that the Bastion was set apart from the rest of the teams to be able to set the artillery strike up. Comes in with the shatter. Almost lost Twisted Minds that map as well, going for that play as opposed to having the Bastion to just try and shred the members of SRP Check on the drop down. But Quartz able to win it out at the end, and we head into sub-level. One apiece for both of these teams. KSA yet again trying to come in on that Junker Queen, as LH Cloudy does not manage to find an interception. Is to take the high ground, and Twisted Minds split! No!
They're split away. Immortality field used from Ghost though. No kill, however, goes in their favor, but a nice charge from Cloudy. However, he's whittled down by Yubi on that Symmetra. Damage from him. Twisted Minds win this first fight before the point unlocks and have it under control.
Oh my goodness, that split was actually so clutch. So Quartz goes into the teleporter, and it looked like it was only Quartz, but Slay actually comes through with him, and he uses Immortality Field aggressively to let the Bastion have the angle. And as a result, SRP Check gets split into two pockets, but Twisted Minds overall have more sustainability with the heroes that they're playing, so they win it out as a whole. And now we have to see SRP Check drop from the high ground directly into the Bastion.
And they're dropping immediately onto it, like you said, that turret used to just maybe distract Quartz temporarily. Immortality Field also used now Ghost on the outside, tries to keep Cloudy alive, but there's too much added pressure.
哇，好撚緊啊！晉升，
ultimates, they just get deleted by Twisted Minds and sent back to spawn.
黐撚
This is the
線
problem.
嘅。
This is what we saw come through on Gardens, but it's not really around natural cover that Twisted Minds get to play around. It's again around the self-sustainability. Because who do SRP Check try to sort of pseudo-dive this Reinhardt composition onto? You can't go after KSA, he has the shot. You can't go after Slay, he has a mortality field. Quartz has all of the healing now with transformation mode enabled on this patch. Yubi is just going to beam you down, and Kellex is too mobile to be able to find the drop, so instead they're having to go for the point itself, and that leaves them too vulnerable to the Bastion.
Shield almost broken for Cloudy, now wants to go in for the swings towards Twisted Minds, who now drop the artillery strike. Yubi, though, during that artillery strike will go down, so some of the pressure from the Bastion was alleviated during that. Dandit on the outside flank now has to deal with KSA, has full charge. forces him away for now. Blizzard is well committed, but it's Quartz to come out on top. Onto the kill on Dadala, so unfortunately the Blizzard from Fi just splits up Twisted Minds, who are still in control of the objective at 80%. Ghost hitting some nice shots out of Lucy off the skybox, but unfortunately no kill for them just yet. KSA nearly frozen, shouts to stay alive, but Cloudy with the hammer eventually will find Tim. That's the Rampage gone. That could have changed things and given Twisted Minds a huge advantage. Kellex has a hard decision to make. Does he want to commit that beat drop to keep this point in their favor? It looks like no. They're just funneling into the point. No 99% for Twisted Minds, just 96%. But still have a huge hill to climb as they flip the objective, starting from 0.
Twisted Minds as well are going to have ultimates. So SRP check, they're going to be pulled in all of these different locations. They're going to have to bait Quartz into using transformation early, all while holding on to this point, but they can't afford to give high ground up, otherwise Slay and Kelch just get too many safe positions to hold themselves up into and make sure that KSA doesn't go down against this Reinhardt.
Now, Twisted Minds walk into the objective. TP aggressively onto the back. Beat drop is while that engaged. Cody comes back for the peel, but it's Kellex to find Dala. Was that during his beat drop, I think, or something? Yeah, SRP check. Unfortunately, get Ajaxed by Twisted Minds. What a re-engage and play from Kellex and the rest of Twisted Minds as they flip the point. SRP check, no recontest. And it looks like in overtime, halfway through, the May is going to be able to touch. Dala is going to come through on the outside. Waits their time. Fi goes down. Lucio's able to touch from Dala's side. No, he's going to get booped away. Nobody else can touch. And Twisted Minds are now up in the series, 3-2.
Oh boy! Twisted Minds going to be taking Antarctic Peninsula. That's really interesting. SRP check took Dorado, Twisted Minds pick. And now we're going to see Twisted Minds take Antarctic Peninsula. SRP check's pick. They looked so innovative. When we look at the comparison between how they played the Smash as opposed to on sub level, like having the opportunity to be able to where they just sent Quartz on that Bastion through with Slay on the Baptiste, fully trusting in the fact that they would be able to just tear through that Reinhardt. As Cloudy was forced to keep his concentration on the players left in front of him, the shield looking at that angle, exposing every single bit of him to that Bastion to just tear through in a moment's notice. Really smart play coming through from them.
Yeah, absolutely so intelligent, and obviously Twisted Minds now have that lead. They are on map point. If this was any other series during the playoffs, the series would be over. Twisted Minds would have won, but because it's the grand final,
佢攞嚟係咪代表佢自己嘅個性別取向嘅
On the flip side, I mean, this is their tournament life on the line. They've already made it to the grand finals, but obviously, Moxie, that'd be huge if they could get the upset win on Twisted Minds, who have been a dominant force in EMEA contenders. And like you said on that last map, this is terrifying now because Twisted Minds look to be on a different level. Obviously, like you said, Icebreaker didn't go in their favor, but if they're figuring out the Symmetra stuff, Moxie,
咪就話性別認同嘅問題咯。
if you're the other team.
Yeah, I mean, you can see as well that they're anticipating.
係啊，跟住然之後你要尊重每個人嘅性別認同喎。
Teleporter on Icebreaker, they do it on the low ground. So the second that KSA walks through, he's super pinnable. But when they actually use that Smasher Teleporter on sub-level, they put it on elevated platforms. So that when they go for the drop down, Cloudy doesn't get the immediate I know when to charge and intercept a person as they step through. Instead, he has to time the charge when the person commits to the drop down, which is something that becomes a lot harder to be able to take account of. And as a result, when we did see those Smasher Teleporters into the backline of SRP check, the charges don't get anywhere near the same amount of value.
Yeah, I suppose to give him a bit of a break, Icebreaker is a hard one to TP to, right? Because it's such a close map, and you can't really do that across the map. Meanwhile, looks like SRP check's map selection is in, and we are going to Circuit Royale. Very confident is this team on this map, Moxie. I mean, pretty good reason why, right? They've been consistently amazing on Circuit Royale.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it for them. It really did look absolutely dominant when they were running up against EXO. They struggled a little bit against Iliari, but we know that Twisted Minds is probably not going to be fielding into that pick. Instead, it's going to be really interesting to see what composition he decides to opt into.
街坊啲人話咩啊？呢個世界上有幾多個 gender， 跟住然之後啲人就唔肯答喎。
check again to play as aggressive as possible and just rip out as many fights as they possibly can to dwindle down the time bank that Twisted Minds have access to.
It's so funny that everybody, was panicking over Iliari meta with Orisa. you know, everybody's like, oh my god, this could be the meta. But meanwhile, over here at EMEA Finals, Twisted Minds versus SRP Check, we got Reinhardt versus Ramacha versus Junker Queen. The tank meta is still very much up in the air, at least over here. So we'll be going into this upcoming map. Neither of these teams probably going to be playing the Orisa unless something happens that's crazy. And pretty much, I would rather bet on like another. I don't know, like meteor hitting the planet Earth before that either of these teams will play Orisa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that'd be a pretty crazy chance if that's the case, especially with how the TP plays have been going for SRP Check on this map, Moxie. I mean, they really just keep upping the tempo time and time again. Where you think they maybe slow it down, they just keep that gas up.
They really are an incredibly aggressive team, but they've learned how to channel that aggression. Like, when they first started in Contender Season with LH Cloudy trying to play this Reinhardt, teams would just take full advantage of the fact that Cloudy would charge in and his team would be left in the dust. But being able to incorporate things like the Symmetra teleporter so that everyone can actually travel with Cloudy, and even really using it to be able to split themselves into different positions of fighting, so Cloudy can play aggressive but still have that lifeline to be able to fall back onto. SRP Check have really been able to just innovate themselves and really synergize with the rest of the team.
Yeah, and they're on defense first too, Moxie. I mean, they've really figured out this defensive hold so far, but Twisted Minds with Court still in the lineup, by the way, no substitutes coming through on either side. They're going to keep it up with having him, you know, on that bastion.
應該係要打晒個賽程。
No surprises, the last time that SRP Check and Twisted Minds actually met each other in the upper bracket, SRP Check took us to this very map to make sure that Twisted Minds did not get to play the Pharaoh.
咁佢
but indeed,
咁佢出即係出嗰啲遠程或者法拉之類嗰啲，唔係就
super close to those spawns the way that we saw in the earlier series, because they have full understanding. Even if Fire is able to isolate the target out, the Bastion's just going to shred the wall before they can find a kill.
Cloudy gets double boot forward as well by the Jagged Blade and a boot from Calyx. Meanwhile, perfect into transformation, and everybody gets deleted instantaneously. Twisted Mind does a very fast first team fight.
Yeah, gorgeous off angle coming through from Quartz. KSA with the Junker Queen sustainability gets to take the fight on stairs. No one's looking at Quartz on the Bastion on main road. Shreds through the maze, shreds through the immortality field.
同埋機兵炸彈依家範圍好似大咗。
Lose that hold around corner, will now have to contest with Twisted Minds already sitting themselves up through the high ground. Does SRP Check teleport behind them?
TP behind them indeed. Now the charge comes through from Cloudy. No value found just yet. Immortality field committed by
我頭先斬咗下眼。
Surely he's the target of SRP Check. Quartz does find one, gets traded out though. KSA though ends up getting 5, so Twisted Minds still end up with the kill advantage. Ghost now gets stagger killed, and Twisted Minds, even though they lost a few during that fight, ended up on top with 3 and look to claim the checkpoint.
Yeah, the Junker Queen just has so much poke, even when SRP Check don't really have to worry about the poke because of the Symmetra teleporter. They have to be so careful. At least Cloudy in the interception off of the teleporter needs to essentially find a player every single time he looks for the charge. Otherwise, Twisted Minds just have too much sustainability to be able to play around the Reinhardt, the damage slowly output by the Mei and the Symmetra in regards to the Bastion that can just burst everyone down in seconds.
And Matrix here on the top. KSA with a nice savage flash through Danid's side. Ghost as well has to drop back towards his team, and again another early pick for Twisted Minds results in them kind of snowballing this. You know, Cloudy charges away, but
死咗，俾成功死咗。
I guess was forced from Quartz there, results in at least one ultimate use from them, but Twisted Minds just keep it.
我頭先睇緊係路西歐嗰部嘅。
Rampage as well. Ghost isn't going to have the amplification matrix. LS Cloudy does have a shatter, and it is free. KSA on the Junker Queen does not have a shield, no way of being able to counter it, no Orisa, nothing to be able to stun you out of the Rhine ultimate. The problem is amplification matrix is going to be used first by Twisted Minds. SRP Check not committing to the teleporter behind this team, using that Maywall and the teleporter distraction to fight themselves out the time from the amp.
Yeah, SRP Check need to win right here and now. At least on the second phase, Symmetra wall used from UV. Rampage still available.
哇屌！而家瞬間就消失咗。
No support ultimate committed from Twisted Minds besides the Ant Matrix earlier. Here comes the wall from Danid. Calyx still holding on. He gets frozen, in fact, and killed by Dala. Ghost also gets one. KSA with the Rampage. But because maybe Twisted Minds was a bit too greedy and didn't use the beat there, it results in them losing the fight.
Yeah, I think the idea was that KSA wants to use the to be able to carry himself directly through the May Blizzard and make sure that even if SRP check find the freezers, they're not able to actually capitalize and find the kills because they're too busy having to deal with the anti-effect. But Twisted Minds, without using that sound barrier, still lose players and the fight overall as a whole. But again, they have the poke face, they have the Bastion burst to make sure that SRP don't get to really
all of them are one tricks or
normally puts so many attackers to pressure.
3 minutes left. Here comes that fire strike window playing. 2 fire strikes used by Cloudy. No kills from it either, but KSA comes back through, gets the kill, also sent the flanker towards the car with the beat drop so they can put some pressure on the payload. Slay will go down after Immortality Field fades. And the rest of SRP check collapsed on. Even though Twisted Minds lose Slay there, they're moving on a third with 4 minutes to play.
Slay's going to have Amplification Matrix as well. That's going to be yet more distance that SRP check are going to have to disengage away from. Quartz moving up onto the high ground, so if SRP check try and teleport up there, they're going to be met by a Bastion who's going to be aided by Slay with the Amplification Matrix.
And Matrix committed. Quartz will get taken down by Phi as well. Immortality Field used by Slay, a bit too late there. Ghost also finds Slay. During it, UB does trade back Dandit at the very least, but this already is going in favor of SRP check. The backside is trying to live Kelix as well, but they will go down artillery strike a bit too late on the side of Quartz here, unfortunately, as SRP check finally get a hold in the surface.
Yeah, like you said, Immortality Field from Slay just a second too late to be able to save Quartz. SRP check fully understanding the angle that the Bastion was trying to take away from their defense alongside the Amplification Matrix, collapse on him and take him down before he can become problematic as another teleporter, this time from Twisted Minds, into the backline of SRP check set up by wall. So SRP check has absolutely no way of retaliating.
The pace has been set though by SRP check. They want to win now, using a lot of ultimates, Blizzard as well to zone the payload. Meanwhile, Quartz is just sitting on the high ground, right? He's able to do whatever he wants. Here comes that TP onto Quartz now, but into the transformation with the grenade. I don't know how you kill him with all the support he is getting, even with Dandit at full charge. It's not enough. That was a lot of ults committed for Twisted Minds and SRP check.
Yeah, all LH Cloudy can do in that fight as well is hope that Dandit fully charged will be able to take the Bastion down before the shield breaks. Some really good support coming through from Twisted Minds backline, as now we're going to see SRP check free ultimates to work around, but still having to concern themselves with how to play around the Symmetra teleporter. They can't fully give up high ground for free, because if they do, Twisted Minds are going to see the absence.
Yeah, but they actually TP back through, so they're met on the other side. Also wall here into both Ant Matrixes with that lamp, but there's Cloudy with the shatter, potentially fight changing. Ghost is able to get KSA, but Dandit does fall. Now there's the artillery strike from Quartz on the backside. Could he find Ghost on the retreat to the spawn? And he does. Perfect kill from him on the inside. Yubi takes that May charge off of the wall, while Fine tries to fall back. Support ultimates for this fight. They're pushing this payload with a minute and 45 seconds left. SRP check desperately have to get a retest.
Mayall's Symmetra Wall Rider is going to be invested so SRP check can make it out of spawn, but Dandit gets yanked by the Jagged Blade from KSA. No fully charged Symmetra as Fire swaps onto the Sojourn looking to find the one-shot potentials.
Drops his own Immortality Field, has the support there, fine. Now onto the Sojourn of all things, he's able to get Quartz, but I don't know if it's enough. He's down super low. Fine tries to regroup around the payload. Nobody can even touch as Twisted Minds push the objective into its final checkpoint, and now move over to the defense with a minute and 17 seconds.
So this is why the Rhine composition struggles the most against the Junker Queen. You can land the perfect shatter, but if you don't confirm kills before the team is able to recover, you're still going to lose the fight and be down in ultimate. Case in point, Shatter hits onto Twisted Minds. SRP check play it perfectly. They bait Twisted Minds into taking the fight on the high ground. So many of them get hit by LH Cloudy's ultimate. The KSA doesn't go down, has the shout. Quartz, as a result, has the time to be able to hit into the ultimate and make sure that SRP check aren't able to play off of the space the shatter should create. And then once artillery strike is out of the Bastion, you still fully control the neutral because you have the transformation and you're just out of damage potential in the neutral. To be able to output to match it. And as a result, they have to play constantly. Something the defensive team never wants to be on.
Now SRP check. You know, their back's against the wall here, Mox. Yeah, Twisted Minds just captured out. All the cards in their favor at the moment. SRP check obviously have been running the same composition throughout. What do they got to do differently here, Moxie? I mean, like, they got to mix something up, right? Play maybe a bit more aggressive.
比較想知佢萊恩點樣可以頂住佢機兵陣咁攻入去。
I wouldn't say that's net least. We've already seen that Quartz absolutely smashes through the shielding with that Hanzo, as well as taking the super quickly with those storm arrows. As you have the ability to be able to take the off angles and take away even more spaces. There it is! Sonic takes Dana down. At least it's after the Symmetra teleporter had already enabled Cloudy to walk forward. But Quartz immediately just disengages, creates as much distance as possible, and still is a problem that SRP Check have to take down.
Finally, Cloudy runs him down, but, you know, it's already too late. It's going to cost him his life. Ghost also gets staggered here. And the first fight is not a victory for SRP Check. They do have that TP to get back from spawn faster, but Twisted Minds, with Quartz specifically, playing very well there.
Yeah, that lunge, when you don't have the Reinhardt charge or a Fire Strike to be able to follow that Hanzo's movement, the only option you have is to try and run him down, and that just provides too much opportunity for the other players of Twisted Minds to be able to play into. There's SRP Check now trying to take away this high ground angle. Janet alone pushing Quartz off of it so that SRP Check gets to move the line forward for Shatter.
What a shatter from Cloudy. Negates all of the value that could have been found by that Ant Matrix. So already one wasted ultimate for Twisted Minds. The mistakes could start to pile up for them as SRP Check look to capture out their offense.
Yeah, and Danad moving onto the angle to just bully Quartz off of the high ground is an absolute must, because Quartz above the Reinhardt will be able to shoot above the Reinhardt shield. The only way that Cloudy feels safe enough to be able to use the Shadow without Ghost having to use Amp is if Quartz is away. As the amplification matrix to snowball into a point take.
But it is the beat drop to try to counter it. However, KSA still incredibly low. Does have a nice pocket though from both supports. KSA gets charged away. Meanwhile, Quartz, understanding the tanks are on their own little island, tries to find a trade. But 3 of his teammates are already dead. SRP Check have moved this objective into the streets phase.
Well, that is a late Dragon Strike. Okay, are we going to see a swap? Yeah, it's got to be a swap onto the Bastion, right?
哇，入咗去。
Yeah, that's for sure a swap, right?
Yeah, there it is. Okay, Quartz gonna be donning the hat and moving on to Bastion. As it is gonna be Fi still holding onto the Blizzard. Yubi off of the Mei onto the Symmetra now, as KSA onto the Junker Queen as well. They're really trying to play around the composition that SRP Check has struggled with already.
Wall comes through. SRP Check goes to the charge to follow up with the Blizzard. Danad's able to find Yubi.
哇屌！又直接就炸開。
Cost both DPS ultimates, whereas Twisted Minds are going to have to re-engage, but they only have an Ant Matrix, so SRP is sitting in the lead with their double support ultimate.
Yeah, Dollar as well holding on to the soundbar to be able to just aggressively push past the Ant Matrix. Keep your eye on Fi, however, he's looking to try and find a wall to isolate a player out if they move past. As everyone just teleports past him.
They teleport past him. Yubi still takes some poke. Beat drop committed by Dollar with the Ant Matrix, but Cloudy gets poked so low. With that pressure, they're able to find Quartz. Ghost also on display, and now it's just relying heavily on Dandit and Ghost to pop off. Ghost gets
唔係喎，好似入到去喎。
Only 0.36 meters left, you're right, but during that entire time,
我屌，入咗去喎癲。
4K from Ghost to move this objective into third, and they have more of the time bank than Twisted Minds did on theirs.
Yeah, Danad almost picks up those kills. Will be able to chunk them low enough with the Symmetra fully charged up for Ghost to be able to take them down. 4 minutes and 27 seconds is an absolute storming time to be able to move through A and B, as Twisted Minds aren't really getting the opportunity to be able to set this composition up for win conditions. Now they're going to have a choke to be able to play the Junker Queen around with the Carnage and the Jagged Blade, but SRP Check just disengaging around it, playing around the fact that they pull Shadow.
首先你要有佢哋咁準。
Gets the beat drop at the very least, but he's still charged against the wall. Eventually that cost him his life. Immortality Field is there to try to save him, but a little bit too late. Artillery strikes coming onto Cloudy. Also Slay is going for the pressure, looks away for 1 second, and he's pinned against the wall. KSA does get Fi at the very least, and also Dallas, so they are trading evenly, but with Dandit still alive here, it's far too much damage to deal with. KSA has to go back around and give up.
但係輸啊！佢哋啲時間仲多過對面喎。
He's got Rampage, that's the win condition to be able to blitz through the zoning potential of Fi's Blizzard, as SRP Check had threatened the teleporter, just baiting Twisted Minds into
兩邊都係玻璃大炮喎咁。
so that they get even more payload distance for free.
Alex drops below, tries to play aggressive to slow down the payload. Meanwhile, wall committed from Dandit will go down during it. Was it available from Vi? We'll hold on to it because he got killed by Kelix on the low.
佢果斷
Also on the ghost.
逃離。
Nice easy fight win for them after committing that symmetrical wall and rampage from Twisted Minds.
哇！呢度難啊，呢度。呢度難搞喎，停咗呢度部車。
onto the Orisa to be able to try and just live through Fi's zoning potential on the Blizzard. If SRP should try and use the May ultimate, KSH is going to fortify on the payload to make sure that they can still contest.
He drops down below. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left to go. Fi! What a difference maker he is on the May. Opening pick onto Yubi. No support ultimate either. And Dana comes through the back with a nice right click as well. After the bumps to Symmetra, he is taking full advantage of it. There's a blizzard towards that payload as well. Cloudy finds KSA. And it's just Yubi to touch on that Tracer. The clock as both teams will have another chance at the attacking side, but SRP check is the one with an entire minute in advantage in their time bank.
2 minutes, 17 seconds left available for this team. Oh my goodness, they have 100% figured out how to play around the Bastion.
哇！癲仲快喎，仲快過佢哋咩？
Stunning moments on point A, but the second that we saw point A in the past, SRP check just fully came into that own. Really smart blizzards coming through from Fi. Really good shatters as well from LH Cloudy.
哇！其實佢隻好撚強。
Oh, it's such a game changer.
即係萊恩係真係好撚勁㗎，老實講。係佢 even counter 到咁樣，佢都仲可以打到咁嘅地步嘅，真係又係唔簡單。
They try and teleport past him, looking to push past the Reinhardt and collapse onto the team so they can win the fight even if the shatter comes through. What does Cloudy do? He finds the shatter, and then this is the crucial thing. He finds the pin onto the Symmetra and takes her out of line of sight of her backline. So Slate can't throw the immortality field and save the Sim. And without the Sim being that, with that threat of being fully charged up, SRP check get to play aggressively into Twisted Mind's face. That's exactly how this comp wants to play.
On the defensive side,
佢哋應該係鐵定心腸要令到架車喐都喐唔到。
that well for them. Whereas Twisted Minds now, look to commit a similar game plan, right? Now they go out the right side though, nobody dead early, just regroup towards that payload. Dala gets found immediately by a nice connection from Quartz with the grenades. I mean, he's been so good with them so far. KSA also finds Ghost as SRP check just die on the payload.
係。好啦，呢個佢早啲出翻去好過。
Everyone goes main except Quartz, who stays on the stairs angle, and as a result, SRP check, who think that they're going to have to contest a Bastion on main, and look to try to jump onto him 5 versus 1.
係啊，你早啲出去砌人好過。
Overwhelmed by an entire team contesting, with the Bastion still popping up in their sidelines on an angle they're not ready for. Really smart game plan coming through from Twisted Minds to ever so slightly shift those positions so SRP check aren't ready to intercept. As talking about ready to intercept, Ghost actually
好撚癲。 但係好似唔掂，好似唔掂。
Oh man, that honestly might be like game over. That was one of the most important fights of the series. At least SRP check get another fight here before the check.
有機兵一人，佢都唔係太舒服。
佢
機兵已經防守意識好重，直接一早就已經企到口。勁口。
Quartz on the Bastion. Ghost hasn't been able to even keep pace with Am.
They trade backlines though. TP above. Aggressive play from Twisted Minds results in Kellis getting poked low. Immortality field already used to save him. Quartz meanwhile just pressuring Cloudy. Immortality field meanwhile has also found one more. And with the Bastion, it's too much to deal with. Ghost does get slayed at the very least, but in overtime, Twisted Minds move on the streets.
And they've got so many ultimates. They won that fight off of neutral. They're going to have artillery strike, Symmetra wall, rampage, and amplification matrix, and all of that is going to buy themselves the time to be able to build into the sound barrier. SRP check have to play this next fight perfectly, and Quartz, no one's going to anticipate him on this angle.
Artillery strike used early, just to zone away Twisted or SRP check, maybe even find a kill, but at least slows them down for now. TP above the high ground. Cloudy and the rest of his team moves. They have the Ant Matrix over the top. Immortality could used by Slay. Slay wants to move with his team, but it cost him his life. Meanwhile, the card is still pushing though, so Twisted Mind's in a weird spot. However, they're still gaining that advantage. Rampage comes back through, connects onto Cloudy and Dala. Cloudy goes so low, it doesn't fall just yet until now. Dandit over the back, tries to find KSA. He wants this kill, but against the shout, it's too much. Blizzard towards the cart. Nobody even touches for Twisted Minds. As SRP Check found the kills, they finally stopped them, but Moxie, look how far that cart got.
Yep. Yep. We cannot sugarcoat this, Dustin. They have to play perfectly. They have to play better than perfectly. They have to immediately find a full team kill onto Twisted Mind. Something that's going to stop Twisted Mind from just holding aggressively with a Bastion and shredding SR peak checks, health bars, but also time bank. Because 2 minutes and 17 seconds, that's going to disappear. That's a drop on the ocean in comparison to the time that a Bastion and a Junker Queen sustainability and damage burst potential can make sure to keep you stuck up in your spawn.
30 seconds left for SRP to decide their fate here. I mean, they've always done well on the attacking side though, Moxie, at the very least, right? I mean, they could kind of snowball here, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen SRP Check literally hit their peak in this match, I would say. But now they are going to have to be not just at their best, they're going to have to play the best Overwatch they've ever played. Every wall from Fi has to be perfect. Every pin from LH Cloudy has to connect, guarantee either a kill or position the space to be able to set one up for your DPS. Immortality field has to be on point. Every single amp that we see coming through from Dolph for speed rotation has to be on the nose. Twisted Mind's going to be starting off not towards the spawn. They're going to be playing, waiting to collapse in on SRP Check instead.
Quartz on that flank goes into the transformation on the inside where the health pack is. In fact, they're kind of pushed in that room by SRP Check as Fi finds Kelix. Amazing shot from him. Also onto KSA. Great work from Fi. I mean, he's played well throughout the series, but in particular right now, that 2K really opened things up for them.
Really good start for SRP Check. They're able to just deal with that sort of sandwich, that two-pronged attack that Twisted Minds were trying to set upon. Again, very similar to their defense, or rather attack. Quartz coming in on an off angle, so everyone either looks at him or the rest of the team, and the other side always gets more value as a result. However, SRP Check still not out of the woods just yet. Now they have to go up against a Bastion who's going to have the high ground, and they have no ultimates to force them away.
There's that TP in. Regenerative burst from Ghost. Nice charge to keep everybody up on the backside. Cloudy gets it off the map, actually. Connected onto him. Now the heals are all there. KSA cannot build up any charge. Quartz did get that kill at the very least, but look, KSA's ult charge Mox 32% because he's been shut out 2 fights in a row now.
Huge pin coming from LH Cloudy to be able to take the Junker Queen off of the map. Still up for SRP Check as well. This is not the situation where we saw Twisted Minds where they were in overtime and they could not afford to move the payload. And as a result, SRP Check get to play more aggressive. Not only do they get more payload space as a result, but they deny Quartz the ability to be able to set the Bastion up into play.
Ant Matrix committed from Ghost, gets poked low, but has the immortality able to keep himself alive. Meanwhile, counter Ant Matrix, and Quartz finds Ghost. Also onto Fi, so SRP is wiped from the server. They have time left for 23 seconds. What do?
They've got a fast reset. And this is what Twisted Minds are going to do because they understand SRP Check have no choice but to try and teleport onto the payload. They're going to just try and make sure that the team doesn't fully get through.
Our wall comes through. There's that artillery strike from Quartz, and it finds Ghost through the immortality field. Counter immortality field used on Quartz to keep him alive for a bit longer, in which he's frozen by 5 towards the payload. So it's 1-for-1 before the beat can come through. Rampage comes through from KSA. It connects onto Dala. Fi goes low, but he's able to find UB, and KSA's Rampage unfortunately doesn't find the value that he wants. The rest of Twisted Minds are crumbling around the payload. Well, SRP Check swap Dandit to Genji. Fi goes down. The charge comes through onto KSA. Does he have enough sustain to stay alive? He's got the immortality field. Dala staying towards the payload. LH Cloudy staying alive with the Suzu from Ghost here as well. Building towards that Kitsune rush of all things. SRP Tech look to stabilize as they wait for Fi to come back from spawn. Twisted Minds surely have the main advantage.
But they don't have the Baptiste. SRP Check losing Ghost on the BAP to the Kiriko. Should be able to build into a Kitsune rush, but Slay's going to have the Ant Matrix, and without a Mei, SRP Check have no way of disengaging it, and it's overtime. They have to keep themselves in the fight.
There's that ant matrix.
I
Connie
took
goes
a
to half
junior.
HP, gets the Suzu, gets pooped off, and then charges into KSA. Comes through on the flank is solo. Dana falls on the other side. Yubi incredibly low on the front line. Falls to 1 HP, but sustains through Slay's damage. Dana though eventually able to find him. KSA on the front line.
衝咗上去，俾人圍奸咗喎。喂，
喂，
但係入到喎！哇屌！黐線！
We said that they would have to play out of their minds. We said
哇，好撚癲喎！
best Overwatch they have ever played. Oh my goodness! Dustin, they did it! They were able to push the payload. They lost Ghost. The second that they lost the map team,
呢個唔係呢個攻入去個波嚟㗎。
rotation, it should have been over. But it's Spy who gets to come through. Will be able to cycle through the Mei will cycle through the block, keeps the payload in contest so everyone from SRP check can regroup. Ghost coming back in on the Kiriko to be able to swift step and rejoin the team faster, giving up the burst potential of the Baptiste heals for favoring that speed, knowing that Twisted Mind is going to try and take the fight as quickly as possible. And then Daned fully charged on the Symmetra, the teleport as well onto the payload to make sure that it stays contested after LH Clyde gets knocked to the side of the map and has to charge all the way into Twisted Mind's backline.
哇癲啊！
What a
咁樣嘅。
Every single person on SRP Check's team came alive to make sure that that payload stayed in game and they stayed in this series. Dustin, we knew it would be
唔係來人都係贏， 來人冇
between
轉
these
因為。
two. Not only are SRP Check the first team to ever take 2 maps away from Twisted Minds, they're the first team to take 3. We go again.
We go again indeed.
哇，
SRP check
三
bring us
比
to
三
that
喎！
number
屌
7.
係咪做效
Dana's
果
flu
啊？
game coming through. I mean, insane work from the guy who said he's sick. We were in an interview with him not less than like 2 hours ago where the guy was like sneezing and coughing and trying to just stay alive. Just comes through in the absolute clutch for SRP check. But guys, before that number 7, we'll have you take a breather and we'll go to a short break. Before then, like I said, just get snacks, get a breather, get something, whatever. I need a breather after that one. So we'll see you guys after this break for that map number 7.
There
are days I will always remember when the
我
sun
兩個 mon 都開住啫嘛。
were bright. Solar energy filled all our needs. But
唔係即係 in case， 我都唔知嘅啫。唉，算啦，就掛住呢個先咯。
These were the Inti warriors, but we call them
我都閃啦。
the children of the sun. They aided our people in so many ways, as providers, healers, and in times of danger, our protectors. I was always told I would become a warrior, a big responsibility, but I had a gift that could help my people. So, I trained. At last came the day they said I was ready to join their ranks and embrace the sun. There are days I will always remember. Was it my fault that no one knew the true extent of my power? To this day, I still don't understand what I did wrong.
好啦，我返，拜拜。
But it doesn't matter anymore. I will make up for what I've done. Because I am Iliari, and I am the last child of the sun.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in game number 7 in this series between Twisted Minds and SR Peak Check. It's been so back and forth so far. You know, obviously, it's all culminating in this last map that is going to come up in just a bit. But Moxie, walk me through everything that's happened so far in this tournament to lead to this moment.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're about to head into map number 7. That is not a miscount for the first time ever. Twisted Minds in a contenders series since they started last season, have actually dropped not just one map, not just 2 maps, but 3. And it all started off in the upper bracket with Twisted Minds storming through every single team. Raspberry Races 3 and 0 struggled a little bit against SR Peak Check, they themselves confessing that it was their hardest matchup to date before they went up against Exoblivione, also dropping 1 map against them. And obviously, SR Peak Check won out in our lower bracket finals against Exoblivione at the very start of today, which feels so far away, Dustin. It feels like it was an entire last week ago when we got to see that series, but it all ends right here, right now. It is going to be a push map, which is so hard to be able to draw, which means we are going to determine who is going to walk away the champions for the EMEA Contenders Summer Season. Is it going to be Twisted Minds getting that win back-to-back, or are we going to see SR Peak Check prove meta isn't always better?
Let's see. I mean, it's all at the end of the day coming to this map, like I said, on push. So we'll have to wait and see between these two teams to kind of get a bit of a breather, right? Obviously, after that last one, it was everything, you know, no holds bars. It was just an absolute slaughterhouse towards that payload on Circuit Royale. And now going into this one, both teams, you know, maybe look to take the advantage. But, you know, if we go back to the likes of Coliseum was still close, right? If we go to that last push map, it was incredibly tight. And then same with the Koth map, the control map that we went to our Antarctic Peninsula. That was also close at times. So the fact that Coliseum still went in Twisted Minds' favor is definitely an interesting point. However, the likes of SR Peak Check have always proven, at least on Esperanza, Moxie, that they just are so relentless, always moving towards that payload with the TP. I mean, Twisted Minds have been doing good at dealing with it, but you regardless still have to manage SR Peak Check's aggression.
Yeah, and you have to remember as well, Esperanza, it's not our first push map that we're seeing. The go-to was Coliseum. Twisted Minds did not feel comfortable immediately taking us to this map, and the reason, I'm pretty sure, is when we saw Exoblivione versus SR Peak Check earlier in the first series on this very map, Cookie was on Sojourn. Normally when we see a Sojourn uncontested in terms of not having to worry about hit scan from the other team, they absolutely dominate